and welcome to this first business travel interview. Today I've got the pleasure of speaking to two of the senior management of Global Travel Management. GTM is a company that started in the late 1990s by Scott and Natalie Pawley, and Scott has agreed to join us. Scott is the Managing Director of GTM. Good morning, Scott. How are you? And also, where are you?
Well, good morning, Mike. Thanks very much. I, as most of the country, certainly most of our industry, are working from home. Been here for about seven or 8 weeks now. I'm sharing the new first world problem of sharing my broadband with a 17 and a 20-year-old and a dog who thinks he's now entitled to be walked 3 times a day.
Thanks, Scott. And also with us is Paul Baker. Paul now is the sales director of GTM, having been with the company for 20 years this month. I'm sorry if I've given away something towards your age there, Paul, but good morning. Hello, how are you? And again, where are you?
Good morning, Mark. Thank you. Yes, I'm also working from home. Luckily, my broadband, as I keep telling my colleagues, is 100 megabytes a second, and I don't have a dog to worry about.
Well, we've got a number of questions, some of which have come in from customers of GTM. So if I fire away with the first one, we're in lockdown at the moment. The business travel industry has pretty much closed down globally thanks to the pandemic. But it's not the first time that we've experienced closure of the business travel industry. So I wonder if you can help us to understand some of the experience that you have in terms of previous times that the business travel industry has closed down. What else have you experienced on this scale?
Okay, so I'll start from that one then. So previously, as you mentioned, in my 20 years, and in fact, just 10 years ago, we had the anniversary of the Icelandic volcano. And a bit further behind that, we've had the financial crash of 0809. And that caused, in a positive way, us to look at how we could improve our service offering to our customers at that time. And part of our business continuity plan was to look at and encourage more people to be able to work from home, which in itself meant us getting access to the cloud so that every conceivable system and piece of software that we have in the office could be replicated at home. And also our out of hours. Likewise, we had to ensure that our team could work at any time with the backup of our out of hours service as well.
Yeah, and I was going from that one. I think it's been, we've had this, as it were, this obviously backup plan in place for almost obviously 10 years. I mean, nothing's ever been on this scale. So that way, it's had its trying time to try and sort of maneuver 30 staff from their desks to the home and get everyone up and running. But we did that within obviously a few hours. So we were sort of pleased with how robust the plan was. It's worked well.
So you had an off-the-shelf business continuity plan thanks to previous issues within the business travel industry. You've deployed that, and whereas you normally work from 2 offices in the south of England, everyone is now able to work from home?
Yeah, everyone's got the remote connection via laptops and PCs into the office, as Paul said, on a cloud-based system. So exactly how we work at home is how we work in the office. The same with our sort of phone system as well. I think it's important to state though, but over the last 10 years, all these obviously things that happen, we've learned something each time. And I think that, the main thing was to be more proactive than reactive. So you need to dial these things up early, so you're ready for the influx of calls at the start, and then know that it's going to obviously then peter down to a gentle stream at the end of it. But it's getting ready for it. And so one of the things we did was take the ability of we outsource our 24/7 service, as a lot of people do, but we learned how to sort of bring that back into house when these disasters are there, so our clients can talk to their consultants, their travel to make things easier and faster.
And I should also add, we have had experience over the years since 0809 and the Icelandic volcano 10 years ago. So thinking in terms of snow and weather related issues in this country, where sometimes our airports grind to a halt, and that creates a massive influx of challenges for us with rerouting passengers and reissuing tickets. So we have then been able to put into practice our employees working from home at the touch of a button. And so over that 10-year period, as Scott mentioned, we've been continually refining it.
Thank you. That's really interesting, and it's heartening to know that you're able to re-establish business travel management services as more and more people start to travel again. And we're hearing reports on a weekly basis that, for instance, IATA is reporting that there is more capacity on flights worldwide. More and more people are, if not starting business travel, starting to think about what they need to do in terms of planning their business travel. And they're going to face some changes in how they go about business travel. I wonder if you can just tell us a bit about the changes that a business traveler might expect to see at an airport or on board an aircraft.
Sure. So some of the points that we've been hearing and talking to in our discussions with our industry partners, so centering particularly on aircraft, airlines and airports, which features in the media quite a lot at the moment. For instance, families won't be able to join their partner or spouse when they drop somebody off at an airport. So they won't be able to go into the airport terminal now. It will literally be a case of you'll be dropped off outside the terminal building and you won't be able to go in. So that's one very small thing. The other point that we think will grow in demand will be people booking window seats. So in order to social distance on board an aircraft, you don't want to be, or you may not want to be sat on an aisle seat where the crew and other passengers are brushing past you continually. It would be hopefully much better, safer to be sat in a window seat where you don't have that issue of people continually brushing past you.
I suppose my thing, it's the new norm. Not you'll hate this word. Is a new thing. Of course, if you can see this on the screen, is the face mask now. Now, obviously, that's going to be common practice now, not only on aircraft, because of course we need to catch it at all points. So in the terminal, in the taxi, in the transfer. So for all means of the travel, you're going to need a face mask. What we've done is we've pulled together with a preferred supplier of ours a kit bag, as it were, which has face masks and hand gel and gloves and sanitizer in a clear bag, so you could take it through security with you, which are available now, and there's more details on our website. And if anyone's interested in getting a pack now, if they let me know, I can give them the link of where they can be purchased.
Very interesting. Thank you for that. So, and that's available now. People can drop you an email to find out.
Yeah, we've got them now. Again, if you can see it, these are the packs not working on this camera, but yes, they're ready to go. You can have them sort of next day or within a few days, depending on how much you want to pay for your posting package.
Very interesting. So we've looked at aircraft and airports, but are other business travel suppliers asking passengers to take special measures?
I think everybone's doing something. I think the main bit doing is obviously asking people to use some common sense, and that's what needs to be done. This whole thing is to use some common sense, and maybe we need to slow down a pace or two at the airport. But using obviously hotels, that's a big it's a big interest to us. All the hotel changes, it's hard to point anyone out in particular, but obviously that's everyone's concern is obviously cleanliness of the hotels. I'll use Hilton as an example just because I was on a webinar with them yesterday. From June, they're starting their new clean stay program, and what they're doing there is obviously as all of them are, they're heightening their cleaning processes. They're cleaning the sort of regular touch points, more door handles, light switches. Once a room's been cleaned, it's then being sealed. So when you check in, you know that no one else has been in that room since it's been cleaned. Quite a good thing, I thought. They were getting rid of all sort of unnecessary, shall we say, amenities. So they're getting rid of the pads and the guest directories. The sort of paper and cardboard things that are going to be touched again and again and again by obviously the users of that room and don't necessarily always get changed. And
one other area that we've been looking at, so for travellers who may be increased risk, they may have underlying health issues, and hotels are busy areas. There's the check-in area, the lift, the lobby, the reception, the lounges and restaurants, etc. So there's a lot of areas in hotels where you can get a lot of people congregating. So one, as I say, other aspect we've been investigating is for people to stay in an apartment. So Airbnb may not be so good because it's difficult to verify the cleanliness in relation to what Scott was just saying about a room being, very hygienically cleaned, whereas we work with a company called the Apartment Service who do this on a corporate basis. So as I say, if you have an underlying health condition and you want to avoid a hotel, then you can speak to us about staying in an apartment where it would obviously just solely be you, and the apartment would be verified as in a corporate fashion, so that people can stay there hopefully more safely and in a cleaner environment where they're not coming into contact with dozens if not hundreds of people.
Very interesting. So with social distancing on aircraft and more work being done by the accommodation providers, is that going to have a detrimental effect to the cost of traveling on business? What do we think is going to happen to the cost of a typical business travel trip? Okay,
so I think initially, in order to engineer some demand, there will be a temporary drop in prices of airfares, but with all of the loans that have to be repaid and state aid by airlines, those loans will have to be repaid. Therefore, we can only see prices going up after the initial drop to engineer demand. So unfortunately, I think that will become more of a facet of our industry, is increasing costs. And also from a corporate travel policy perspective, employees may not want to travel in economy now, where they're in close proximity to other passengers. So premium economy or business class may become something that travel budgets have to withstand. So yes, that's how we're seeing the near future.
But I think on that one, Paul, also, because say Paul and I have this discussion every day, okay, we can see the increase in price in there, but there's also going to be a big downward pressure on costing as well, because there's going to be a huge competition. Every airline wants every client now. They want you on their seat, so they're very keen to win back any business they can. One thing we see that may happen is, look, you've seen over the last couple of years, airlines. Maybe obviously you see they're diluting where you can buy their revenue from. So TMC gets in one place and an online booking tool from another, etc. And they've gone for different routes to market. Now, of course, you'd imagine they want everyone to sell everything, and we see some of that content all coming back into the same place with TMC. So we can really sort of concentrate what's there in the system and offer that out to all of our clients. Again, not using this as a shameless sales pitch, but I'll be wrong if I didn't. Now, obviously, that's what our guys do. Our guys have always looked for the best fare for our clients, be it through our traditional way of our GDS or online or the NDC sort of content. But with the in-house tools that we've got and developed with our fare finder, we always know we're going to find the lowest fare for our client anyway. So yes, we see reasons why it should be more expensive. Well, it will be more expensive, but reasons why we can push that down and make it less expensive.
Right. Very interesting. So let me ask another question, which is, what tip would you suggest any business looking to get back into business travel and to restart the economy again? What tips should they be looking to do? What's one thing that any business looking to get back into business travel should be doing?
I think for me, it's a very simple one. It's a basic one for the traveller. Just make sure your passport's up to date. Obviously, regular business travellers, their passport's in their pocket every Monday through to Friday. They know what's in there. We've all had a couple of months of sort of away from that sort of thing. We haven't looked at our passport. I've not opened my wallet for 2 months. It's been on Amazon, but I haven't opened the wallet for any cash. So it's it's remembering what's there. I looked at my passport because I had a diary note to let me know that I've only got sort of 9 months left on my passport. So okay, that was a good reminder. But I went to obviously renew it with the passport office, and actually you have to go through quite a stringent series of questions, because if they don't feel it's an urgent need, they are asking you to wait. So don't leave it too long. So
right.
To make sure it's valid, or give yourself time to renew it. Make it longer than normal.
Good tip.
And just to follow on from that, also, if you are renewing your passport, do be mindful that if you have a US ESTA, Canadian e-visa, Australian equivalent, etc., they will expire with your passport. So look to renew your visas as well. I can see electronic visas on a country by country basis just becoming more prevalent as countries want to know from a track and trace perspective who's been in, etc., etc. So yeah, do remember your e-visas too. And for me, really, the main thing is that preparation will be vital in a business trip now. So a whole raft of items that people didn't previously need to think about that they do. And if you need any help with that, we have built up a library of information and documents and data, so we can help you with that. And if you would like access to any of those documents, then please email me. But yes, for me, preparation will be everything with business travel for the next couple of years now.
Good couple of tips, and I'm certainly going to be going off to have a look at my passport to check when that runs out, because I think it might be imminent. So let me ask a final question. The final question is on confidence levels for businesses looking to get back into business travel and those people actually traveling on business. So what single thing can you share that will help people have confidence about their next business travel trip?
Okay, well, I'll go first on that one. Well, I mean, first I'd like to say that, only travel if you think it's safe. Don't obviously put yourself at any risk. But what we've done on the landing page of our website, gtm.uk.com, we've introduced a COVID-19 map. Very easy. You'll go on there now. You see it right at the top. It's a map of the world, and you obviously hover over the country you're looking at, and it will bring up some information for you, which includes areas of lockdown, quarantine measures, border restrictions, information on those airlines that are based in that country, and things like sort of education as well. So that's what we're using as our point of resource. So when someone asks us for a flight, that's where we're going to. But by all means, go there as well. You want to plan a trip so you know what the restrictions are. It's kept up to date, sort of minute by minute.
Very interesting.
Yeah. And for me, I would say, similar to Scott, yes, obviously don't travel unnecessarily, and certainly if perhaps you have underlying health issues, but equally don't be afraid if you take common sense measures. Yes, things will be different, but from recent blogs and posts that we've seen, there are some things that have changed, but the process is still the same. Things like face masks, yes, will be new. Onboard service, food and beverage will be different, but equally don't be afraid of it. The world has to do business. The world has to get back to normal, and travel management companies are, really well placed to offer lots of advice, be sources of information. That's what we're here to do. So yeah, please come and ask us.
Well, thank you. That's really interesting information, and I think those two tips will help anyone that's got any doubts in terms of confidence about their next business travel trip. It leaves me to remind people to drop an email to Scott if they want information about face masks and anything in that hygiene pack. And Scott can give some details on how to get hold of those with a special GTM customer discount. It leaves me to say thank you to Scott and thank you to Paul for your time. Stay safe and keep well. And thank you to everyone that's viewed this first in what we hope will be a series of business travel interviews. If you've got any questions that you'd like us to run through in a subsequent episode of this series of interviews, please drop us a line. But other than that, thank you for joining in and stay safe.